Hey guys, it's me, Lucky at 7, and today's going to be a bit of a different type of video. Today we're going to be going over what makes Black Panther so difficult to balance. Getting right into it, what are the good and the bads of Black Panther and his kit overall? The goods of him is that he can add a crazy amount of pressure to the back line. He has a really good burst potential. He has the potential to survive really large amounts of damage from his self-sustain. And he has a really powerful team up a hole. He usually always is on the receiving end of a very powerful team up. Now the bad is he's flat out annoying to deal with. It's always a nuisance just to try and deal with him. He's extremely punishing for bad players, while he's extremely punishable for good players. There's really no good in between, where it feels like you have the right amount of power and you just got outplayed. He's a terrible DPS if he's played incorrectly. He flat out is the worst if you're not playing him the way it's intended to play. You can play characters such as Iron Man, Magic, Star-Lord just by right-clicking constantly. You don't have to do realistically anything. And also, he loses all of his pressure with as little as one mistake. A single missed dash can just end his reign. He can get immediately CC'd and killed since he has no more movement abilities other than his kick. What are the key issues of Black Panther? Why is he such a hard character to balance? Number one, Black Panther has to be countered before he takes action, not before or after. Some people may argue that a bad Black Panther you have a lot more time to react to, but that's the issue. A bad Black Panther, a good Black Panther can get straight to you and kill you almost immediately without you even realizing it. If he gets the jump on you, you're dying. If you're a support player, if you have a 300 health or below, you're dying unless you have any type of self-sustain that immediately procs, like Wolverine, which not many characters have at all. Number two, he has very little room to mess up, and any simple mistake can make Black Panther a walking target. I know this since I enjoy Black Panther's gameplay loop. I love playing him, he's very fun. But if you miss one dash and there's no walls nearby and you don't have your kick, you're walking. You're literally walking. There's nothing you can do. Your entire kit is now just dead. Number three, many of his nerfs have avoided his main issue, which we will address in the next slide. One of the most notorious nerfs that he's received is making his cooldown on his dash from 8 seconds to 10 seconds, which, yes, that was a nerf. That 100% was a nerf, and it 100% impacted him. But what did that do to his burst potential? Nothing. It did nothing at all. A good Black Panther did not feel this change in the slightest. A bad Black Panther, which already had issues, feels this change immensely, since they're far more likely to miss a dash or miss a target that jumped out of the way. Now, the key issue, his key counter is predicting. He's far too hard to counter if you don't predict them. A good Black Panther, you have to predict them. You cannot counter them once they take action. And also, all of his effective counters require that you track him, which you can't do because of his crazy speed. If you've ever seen a Black Panther clip on TikTok, they're dashing around like crazy. Like, it's almost impossible to hit them. Like, a Hela cannot counter him in the slightest. A character like Bucky, which is known for their CC, he can maybe catch them if he gets them in a bad state. But when does a Black Panther stop moving? When they've got the kill or when they've messed up, which that entirely avoids the key issue. Also, a good Black Panther is underpowered, while a great one is overpowered. In his current state, he's either really unfun to play as or against. One party is always unhappy, no matter what. Which may sound redundant, like, yes, one party's gonna die in a fight, so one's gonna be upset. Not really. If I feel like I got outplayed, I'm not gonna be that upset. Yes, I'm gonna be mad that I died, but then I can go, okay, what did I do wrong? But with this character, it's far less, oh, I misplayed, to, oh, I didn't predict him correctly, which could be considered a misplay, but at that point, you're now playing a whole different game, since not many characters in this game require that you predict them to counter their entire kit. Now, what are the possible fixes? Number one, fix the issue. Spread out his damage and increase it. That's the best thing you can do. Just flat out spreading out his damage will be a terrible change, and just flat out increasing it will be a terrible change, because spreading it out will make him more dead than he already is, and increasing it will make him more annoying than he already is. So why not do both? If you spread out his damage to where support players have a longer time to react, but he still has the volatility to kill them when they react to it, it'll be much better for both parties, since now it's a back and forth fight rather than it just being a one-way push. Increasing his cooldowns does genuinely nothing for this issue. You could give his spears a 10-second cooldown, his dash as a 20-second cooldown, and his kick a 50-second cooldown. It would do nothing. It would just make him worse, and whenever he gets out of the fight, not in the fight. And now another fix that could be made is reworking him. A possible solution is to rework his entire kit, making him kind of like magic, which I feel like could do wonders for him, allowing him to find value in both dive and brawl comps, which increases viability and decreases annoyance. A magic never really dives that much, and when she does, you have so much time to react that it feels like, okay, I probably misplayed because I used too many of my cooldowns while I knew a magic was nearby. But with Black Panther, even with your cooldowns off cooldown, you could probably still get killed. What would I do? Fix number 1, spread out his damage. For his spear toss, increase the charges by 1, but increase the cooldown by 2, increase the range by 1 meter radius, which is the splash, and reduce the projectile speed by 20 meters per second, to where now it takes a moment longer to get to them. Why am I doing this? It's so that he can hit multiple targets in a brawl comp. If he hits people and keeps going back and forth, he can constantly add a bit more damage, similar to how Magic does. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going to make this character just like Magic. That's not at all what I want. I want him to find both viability in dive and brawl comps, making him a lot more viable, making him a lot more fun for both parties to fight against. Because now you can track him a little bit with this next change. Spirit Rend. Average speed minus 10 meters per second, and its current state is 50 meters per second. So a 20% nerf to his speed would do wonders, because now he still is very fast. He still can get the dash. He's not going to miss just because of the speed alone, but now he's a bit more targetable. He's a bit more trackable, which is great for counters like Bucky, Hela, and other things. Now, bonus health from Vibranium Marks plus 10, and his max bonus health plus 25. And its current state, he gets 25 and his max is 75, so this would make it he gets 35 and his max is 100. And then also the damage would go down. This change overall makes him a lot more spread out in terms of damage, to where he can target multiple people and probably even get 2 kills now. But it's a lot harder for him to zone out one character and kill them in an instant, so he's a lot more reactable. And also, Panther's Cunning is such a weird passive to where you have to be below a certain health threshold, which you can't do on your own. He has no health sacrificing abilities, but he requires to be low on health, which is weird. So, complete rework, right? Whenever a Vibranium Mark is removed from an enemy, they suffer from minus 10% healing received for 3 seconds. This may not seem like a lot, but this will stack. So, Spear Toss, you go 1, 2, 3, assuming that you hit all 3, that person now has minus 30% healing received. This makes it to where he builds up his pressure rather than his pressure being immediate and then going downhill immediately. But on to the next change that I could do. Rework his whole kit. Make him a constant threat rather than a short burst threat. Now, Vibranium Claws. Damage minus 10. Max range plus 1.5 meters, which is a 50% increase. Attack interval minus 0.07 seconds per hit. And now the new effect is he attaches 1 stack of Vibranium Mark, which plays into this next change. Vibranium Mark change. It now can stack, and for every stack that's consumed or used, he generates 15 bonus health, up to a maximum of 125 rather than 100. Now Spear Toss, minus 1 charges, but the cooldown is minus 4 seconds. So now his burst potential is shot, but he now has a lot more overall pressure. He's not out of the fight for as long. He can get right back in after messing up a single time. And also, the new effect, he inflicts plus 10% damage received for 3 seconds. So every 4 seconds, you can make somebody a bit more vulnerable, or make a group a bit more vulnerable if you time it correctly. Now, Spirit Rend, average speed minus 15 meters per second, and max distance plus 1 meter. That change I consider a buff, but in all honesty, it is meant to nerf him, so he's stuck in the animation just for a bit longer. So now he's punished for making a bit of a silly Spirit Rend. Now the damage, minus 30, but cooldown, minus 4 seconds. This makes it to where even if he misses or he wishes to just dash, he's out of spears, he's out of spinning kicks, he's out of anything, he can still dash and feel as if he can get back into the fight very quickly, because also his Vibranium Claws will build up enough Vibranium Marks, he dashes, and now he's back in the fight. And also, it no longer generates bonus health when consuming Vibranium Marks. This is because the Vibranium Marks now, whenever they're consumed at all, generate 15 bonus health. Now, Spinning Kick. Max distance, plus 4 meters, cooldown, minus 1 second, and new effect, inflict minus 15% speed and healing received for 3 seconds. This change is meant to help him debuff characters and make them a bit more vulnerable and a better target for him. So now whenever you see him doing this, because the max distance is increased, he's now stuck in the animation for a bit longer, so he's more reactable, but he gains a bit of volatility in turn. Overall, these changes are meant to, of course, make him a constant threat that can all the time add pressure no matter where. He can add pressure to the front line, the mid line, or the back line, but at the same time, the team will have to deal with him, but they have a bit more time to react now. But that does not mean that he's less volatile. He's much more volatile because of these changes. All right, final thoughts. I think that Black Panther will always be a really weird character to balance because if he's not really broken in short bursts, he's just not good. But if he is good in short bursts, he's just flat out annoying. Nobody wants to deal with a Black Panther like that. It's the most annoying thing ever, especially if you're playing somebody like Adam that barely can react. In all honesty, the devs will probably not rework him because he's just known so well for his Tremble Before Bast plays. And of course, it takes a lot of skill to be a good Black Panther. So you have to give credit to them. You can't just pick up Black Panther one day and then all of a sudden be the most annoying enemy on the team the next day. It will take some time, similar to Spider-Man. But with Spider-Man, that's a whole different video to be had. I think Spider-Man works because he needs combos. He requires a ton of skill, and there's hundreds of ways to counter him, and there's a ton of time to counter him, which I feel like could be a great change for Black Panther, similar to the ones that I made. But what do you guys think? Do you think he's balanced? Do you think he's broken? He's terrible? Do you guys play Black Panther? What would you do? What would you do to make him less annoying, less volatile, less anything? But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you guys want more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.